If you have time, knowledge, willpower, and discipline, you possess the necessary ingredients to achieve the deepest desires of your heart. Your happiness, your dreams, and your life are above all your responsibility. One day, you'll realize that your journey is unique and that, while many people around you are important, they should not influence your choices. Only you can transform your life. Only you can decide where to invest your energy, time, and dedication. Choose something that is truly worthwhile. Imagine the place where you want to be and work with determination to get there. Believing in yourself is not just a cliché. It's a lifestyle. It's a tangible starting point to turn your dreams into reality. Many people think that believing is simply about growing, but it's much more than that. 3 years ago, I doubled my income and market value because I deeply believed it was possible to make money with ease. I have been in the market for 15 years, and each year I see my salary and sources of income grow exponentially. Understanding the keys to success, and most importantly, realizing that I'm in control of my life, was essential. You cannot expect to reach the highest levels of wealth and success if you choose to live in mediocrity. Many want to make millions, but they are not willing to change their habits or become different people. True transformation comes when you become someone capable of achieving your goals. Unfortunately, 75% of Americans work for someone else, believing it will make them rich. And among those who have their own businesses, 64% face bankruptcy or lose money. The rest live with the harsh reality of not having enough, trapped in a cycle of scarcity. They live in fear, spend more than they earn, and do not know how to multiply what they have. Instead of acting, they complain about life, the economy, and the government. It is essential to understand that complaining brings no value. Instead of complaining about the lack of money, work more. Instead of complaining that you can't balance your personal and professional life, let your actions be your guide. Instead of admitting that you are not in control, take responsibility and act. People who settle for a lack of money often say, "I can't, I don't have time," or "I can't afford it." This is an escape. It's easier to make excuses than to take action. The truth is that money, by itself, has no value. Money is just a tool that measures and expresses value. The real value lies in how you use it and the decisions you make. The true value is not in money itself, but in what you do with it, in the product or service it provides, in the work and dedication you invested to earn it. Money in itself holds no intrinsic value. It's merely a tool. Therefore, instead of investing your money in a house, which is a passive asset, consider investing in something that will yield returns, such as your personal brand, your marketing, or the development of your own knowledge and skills. Investing money in a house is like burying it, because a house, on its own, doesn't generate money. Many people believe a house is a good investment because it can be rented, but this perception is misleading. When you go to Disneyland, for example, you don't buy the hotel. You rent a room, use the space temporarily, and leave without any regret. And the same should be thought about your residence. Renting, rather than buying, allows you to have more financial flexibility. The money you would have used as a down payment for a house can be invested in something that truly generates income, like your business or in yourself, by developing your skills to increase your earning potential. I see many people saying, "I'm going to invest $300,000 in a house." However, buying a house to live in is not an investment. The house you live in doesn't put money in your pocket. On the contrary, it consumes it with taxes, maintenance, and other costs. A real investment would be buying a house for $300,000 and selling it for $600,000, doubling your capital. That's what a profitable business is. Many people don't understand that the house you live in is a liability, not an asset, and it doesn't bring direct financial returns. Another crucial point is that throughout your career, you must be willing to change environments, locations, and even your mindset. Most people settle into the comfort of where they live and forget that change is essential for growth. If you look at the wealthy, you'll see they are always moving, both physically and in terms of ideas and investments. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates don't waste time talking about the house they live in. They discuss the opportunities they seek, the connections they make, and the wealth they continue to accumulate. Their focus is not on where they live, on the places that lead them to new riches. Surprisingly, people will accept anything if they truly believe in the good intentions of the person doing it. If you act with integrity and truth, the universe conspires in your favor, and people accept you for who you are. But if you try to deceive, cheat, or act with ulterior motives, there will inevitably be negative consequences. No one likes to be deceived. Therefore, respect is fundamental, both for those you work with and for yourself. If my goal is to build the tallest building in the city, I won't destroy the other buildings around me. I'll be honest, work with integrity, and earn my place ethically. Lasting success only comes when you respect others. Act transparently and stay true to your principles. I'm going to build the tallest building in the city, but not by tearing down the surrounding buildings, as many do. Instead of demolishing what others have created, I'll build my own project with honesty, based on good intentions and character. Many prefer the easy path, destroying rather than creating, but true, lasting success doesn't come from shortcuts. Poverty, like a scarcity mindset, is something that is passed down from generation to generation, especially in the middle class. Families, without realizing it, teach the next generation to live with limitations. Even those who earn a lot of money can be unhappy with what they do, and that unhappiness spreads, affecting everyone around them with negative energy. They may be in good financial shape, but their souls remain poor. This is because it's not just about money, it's about mindset, habits, and how you approach life. I could teach you to let go of your ego, talk about how to change your routine, or even how to make a lot of money. But money alone won't solve your problems. Often, we see people who win the lottery and still end up unhappy and broke because their minds are still trapped in poverty. If you don't change your way of thinking, nothing will change in your life. Money comes and goes, and if you don't have control over it, it will disappear quickly. Take the example of athletes who make millions of dollars. 65% are bankrupt within 15 years because they come from families that never learned how to manage money. When confronted, they blame the government, the banks, or other people without ever taking responsibility for their own choices. This poverty mindset is frightening because it perpetuates from generation to generation. However, something magical happens when you truly commit to something. Small gifts start to appear on your path, unexpected opportunities arise, and doors open in ways you never imagined. This has happened throughout my career. Every time I dedicated myself fully to a project, something new would come up. I recommend that you always stay alert, because these gifts don't always come in the form you expect. It could be hard work, a new connection, or a completely different path from what you're used to. But trust me, these gifts have the power to change your life. I've always been fascinated by figures like great politicians and world leaders. People like Elon Musk, for example, whose ideas continue to grow and shape the world around him. I want my story to have a similar impact, for my legacy to grow, and for my ideas to continue to thrive even after I'm gone. And that's why I give this advice. At 19 years old, you have the opportunity to spend 7 years learning a trade, meeting people who will be your mentors, and building the foundation of your success. Be patient. At 26, you'll look back and see that you've built something solid. Throughout my journey, I faced financial setbacks, was betrayed by people close to me, but all of this made me grow spiritually. Spirituality for me is not something linear, about right or wrong. It's a journey with ups and downs, and it's this journey that strengthens us. Most people avoid making mistakes out of fear, but mistakes are essential for growth. Unfortunately, we don't learn this in school, and that's why many remain stagnant, especially the poor. The key to changing your life lies in facing fear, stepping out of your comfort zone, and learning from failures. That's how you build something great, something that lasts. In the end, what matters most is the journey and the legacy you leave for the world. Many people fail because they choose safe options and avoid making mistakes. This is precisely what schools teach, not to make mistakes and not to ask for help. However, this mindset hinders true learning. The educational system is fundamentally corrupt. It is anti-educational because it discourages error and dissuades the pursuit of assistance. Yet, asking for help is crucial, especially in areas where you lack full knowledge. If you want to leverage your business, you need the assistance of specialists, such as accountants, lawyers, and bankers, professionals who excel in their fields. Facing challenges alone is like playing against a rugby team without proper preparation. In the game of life and business, you need a qualified team working in harmony to win. If you choose to be the person who believes they can do everything alone, saying, "I'm invincible, I don't need anyone," you will eventually be defeated by a prepared and specialized team. In the end, you may even claim that the game wasn't fair, but the truth is that they had a complete team while you were trying to do everything by yourself. If you're not an expert in something, the key to success is to have a team that is. This means having accountants to manage finances, lawyers to handle legal matters, and bankers to optimize your investments. If you're not willing to play with such a team, don't even step onto the field. In the business world, the game is played with the help of experts in these areas, and sometimes even politicians. You need to understand how the game is played to thrive. I'm not in a hurry to get rich. I'm not seeking ostentation. What I want is to create a machine that generates money consistently and sustainably. I'm not ashamed to desire money. I want a lot of money, not just to accumulate it, but to share my wealth and increase my income even more. If you can't understand this, you're falling behind. Success depends on more than just hard work. It requires a clear methodology. What is your leadership methodology? What culture have you built in your company? What is your sales approach? And what about teamwork? If we look at an event like the Super Bowl, we can learn a valuable lesson. You can fall quickly, but with a well-defined methodology, your team won't panic. If you have a methodology, your team won't give up, even when things get tough. It doesn't matter what the score is. If you have a methodology, you can win. Your next level of success depends on you. But to achieve it, you need to learn how to create and adopt methodologies for every aspect of your life and your business. Many people ruin their lives because they don't develop appropriate systems and methodologies to learn and evolve. Take divorce as an example. It can impoverish someone by up to 50%. In relationships, this happens because, initially, we have a methodology for winning over our partner. We go out together, watch movies, wear perfume, fix our hair, open car doors. But over the years, that methodology changes, and the relationship can start to crumble. I have been married for 23 years, so I speak from experience. Maintaining a methodology in a relationship is essential. My philosophy is simple. It's cheaper to maintain the relationship than to let it deteriorate. If you don't pay attention to this, the lack of a solid methodology in any area of your life can have devastating consequences, whether in business, finances, or relationships. In my marriage, I strive to behave the same way I did when I was dating 23 years ago. If you adopt this approach, I assure you will see incredible results. The idea is simple. Maintain the same dedication, affection, and attention over the years. What worked at the beginning of the relationship still works, and this is a lesson that applies not only to personal life, but also to business. Speaking of business, one of the most valuable lessons I can give you is to avoid the news. The media's job is not to inform you with the truth, but to make money. And recent studies show that the population of the United States, and probably other places, is addicted to negative information. The media feeds this addiction, creating a spiral of fear, frustration, and annoyance. Instead of spending your time watching the news and absorbing negativity, use that time to have constructive conversations, especially with your spouse. Talk about the country's strengths, about what is going well. Believe me, this will completely change your perspective and that of those around you. Now, a methodology that has transformed my business is what I call the mousetrap. My job is simply to attract the mice, meaning the planners, the people who organize meetings and events. To build a good mousetrap, you need irresistible cheese. And the cheese, in this context, is what you offer that is most attractive. A dynamic, fun speaker who delivers valuable information. That's what every event planner is looking for. So I make sure my marketing materials reflect this: fun, dynamic, and informative. This almost ensures that I rarely hear the word no. However, you need to stay alert, because there will always be people trying to change your cheese. Everyone wants a charismatic speaker who provides value, but many try to shape their offerings according to their own visions. This is why you need to deeply understand what your clients want and connect to that need. Your business closing strategy must be tied to a promise. Remember, people don't buy products, they buy promises. In my coaching program for business leaders, I teach methodologies like this. I don't go into all the details for free, of course, but I make it clear. If you want to succeed, you need to build your own mousetrap and ensure that the cheese is irresistible. Once you do that, clients will seek you out and you will almost never hear a no. Now, I'm going to share the secret that made me a multimillionaire. Have you ever stopped to think about why we are so attracted to movie stars or pop music icons? The secret is likability. Likability is the most valuable and underrated element in the business world. When you combine likability with the ability to train your attitude, you become unbeatable. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She managed to convince 30 million women and about 1 million men that she was their best friend. Every night, these 31 million people tuned in to their TVs to be with their friend Oprah. She turned the likability factor into money. That is power. If you don't have a methodology, people will distance themselves from you. And if something is wrong within your company, if there's incompetence, that's not other people's fault, it's yours. Accepting responsibility is liberating, because by doing so, you regain control over your own life and your outcomes. Another thing many overlook is how emotional purchasing decisions are. People buy based on what they know, like, and trust. However, we often see entrepreneurs failing because they don't understand this. They are in business for the wrong reasons or are afraid to act. But when you free yourself from the fear of what others will think, you become limitless. From there, you start to act without fear, with confidence and focus, and success becomes just a matter of time. To achieve your dreams, you must let go and confront your fears head-on. Every day, do something that scares you. This is something she discovered early on. In the past, she believed that her deafness limited her, that her disability made her incapable. Fear paralyzed her and kept her trapped in her own head. But by changing her mindset, she realized that the greatest obstacle was not her disability, but how she perceived it. If we stop to think, we face daily challenges, and sometimes just getting out of bed seems daunting. But allowing fear to control us does not pay the bills or solve our problems. So instead of just listing what scares you, start facing those fears. The essence of what I enjoy doing is challenging people to step out of their comfort zones. Wealth comes to those who dare, but it's not just about taking a step outside that zone. The true secret lies in transforming your reality. And your reality is unique, different from mine, different from anyone else's. You need to recognize that. The path to changing your reality is taking responsibility. But it's not enough to just leave your comfort zone. True transformation happens when you become responsible for yourself. This means holding yourself accountable to yourself and only yourself. Knowing yourself is the starting point because in the end, the only person you owe an explanation to is yourself. We grow up hearing the wrong judgment, believing we are not responsible for what happens to us. Often, we justify our limitations by thinking of the reasons why I can't do that. But with the advancement of technology, life should have become easier, right? With the internet, emails, instant messaging, communication is quick and accessible. However, the reality is more complex than that. Here's an interesting analogy. 25 or 30 years ago, trying to buy a $100 million company would take about 4 or 5 weeks to negotiate, with another 3 or 4 weeks to close the deal. In other words, the entire process lasted 6 to 8 weeks. Now with the internet and instant communication, it would be logical to think that everything would happen faster. But surprisingly, that's not the case. In fact, it often takes twice as long to close a deal nowadays. And do you know why? Because even with all this technology, people are more afraid to make decisions. They hesitate more, avoiding putting their names on contracts. They want to shirk responsibility. Fear has become a blockage in a world where everything should flow faster. But the key to moving forward and achieving success is simple. Take control, face the fear, and be willing to be the person who makes decisions. When you do this, you stop waiting for others and start building your own reality. Responsibility is essential, and children today feel this need from an early age. Younger individuals excel more quickly in mentoring programs than teenagers and young adults. And do you know why? Because the older we get, the more baggage we accumulate, bad habits, limiting beliefs, and this makes progress more difficult. Motivation can be the starting point, but the real challenge lies in maintaining good habits. Unfortunately, many prefer to stick to bad ones. I developed the same habits for almost 50 years. I no longer need to think to do certain things. Eat, brush my teeth, fill my car with gas. These actions have become automatic. When you reach my age, all of this happens effortlessly. I remember establishing these habits decades ago, and over time, I realized that if you don't build them early, it becomes harder later on. One thing life has taught me is that in any situation, we always have two choices. Either we allow ourselves to become paralyzed, stuck in the same place, or we make the decision to act, to move toward our goals. It's like being at a fork in the road of life. One path is safe, but keeps you exactly where you are. The other is uncertain, filled with challenges and risks, but also brimming with opportunities. The big question is that many are not willing to turn the key and take control of their own destiny. And what does turning the key mean? At first glance, it may seem like a simple metaphor, but the impact of this action is huge. Turning the key is the moment you decide to act, when you leave fear and doubts behind and do what it takes to turn your dream into reality. It's about taking the initiative, regardless of the obstacles. Many people are afraid to act because they believe they lack self-esteem or that they are incapable. Some think self-esteem is directly related to financial success, as if making money automatically makes you feel more confident. But the problem is that often, when these same people find themselves at a table surrounded by others who are also successful, they start to doubt themselves. They believe that the success they've achieved was mere luck. They look around and think, do I really deserve to be here? That doubt can be paralyzing, and that's why so many give up before reaching their potential. I, however, learned the hard way that luck may have been a factor in my first success, but it certainly wasn't what got me to the top in the many times that followed. The dozens of achievements that came afterward were the result of pure persistence, of being willing to try 1, 2, 3, 10 times until I succeeded. Persistence has been the key to everything I've achieved. My life changed dramatically when I was still very young. I had a troubled childhood and adolescence. I was even arrested a few times, despite my father being a police officer. That was a huge wake-up call for me. These experiences taught me a painful truth. Many people do not believe they deserve the success they seek. They live trapped by limiting beliefs and, deep down, doubt their ability to accomplish great things. That's when I realized that my mission was to help these people see their own value, to overcome that internal barrier. Life taught me that to get where you want to be, you need to challenge yourself. I always say, you only reach your true potential when you step out of your comfort zone. I remember a recent conversation with a superstar who, after making $100 million, told me, I think I'll never have that kind of luck again. And I promptly responded, of course, you can have the same success. Luck may have helped in the beginning, but what really makes the difference is your ability to keep trying, to persist. I've tried so many times, over 10,000 to be exact, that I can say for sure, no one has tried as hard as I have. The first time may have been luck, but the other achievements were the fruits of hard work, persistence, and the ability to continue even after failures. And don't think it was easy. I failed so many times and tried so many different approaches that I could easily write an entire book just about my mistakes and failures. But that's exactly what made me who I am. That's what I tell everyone. You can try whatever you want, as long as you're willing to go through the journey and face the obstacles that arise along the way. It's the journey that shapes your success. Now, close your eyes for a moment and imagine what it would be like to wake up every morning at the time you wanted, without the pressure of the clock, without financial worries. Imagine walking into any restaurant, opening the menu, and ordering whatever you want without even looking at the price. Imagine providing your family with the life they truly deserve, with security, comfort, and opportunities you never had. That's the kind of freedom entrepreneurship can provide. We deeply believe in the power of entrepreneurship. For us, it is the key to turning dreams into reality, to achieving both personal and professional accomplishments. Entrepreneurship is the safest path to freedom and true satisfaction. That's why we always encourage our followers to take the first step. So, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and stay tuned for more valuable tips and insights that can transform your life. We are in this journey together. Stay blessed, and see you next time.